All right, now I'm recording. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cake Eaters Avalanche podcast. We did say this would be a bit late. There wasn't a whole. I don't know. Do you think there's a lot to talk about in that game? It feels okay. I mean, to me, I at least for the Avs, I'm like, there's one kind of thing that we talked about that we'll talk about a little bit. But I mean, what are your impressions on this game?
Good.
Yes, big good.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy. So I'm looking at the fancies. Scoring
wasn't that bad.
chances 31-15.
Just
High danger chances 8-8.
Yeah.
Minnesota, what is happening?
they had a ton of quantity, but not a lot of quality at all.
Yeah, they just couldn't. They couldn't do much. The Avs were pretty solid defensively. I felt like, for the most part.
They're okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you give up 72 Corsi for it, only 8 high danger chances at even strength.
I thought they were really good in the third period.
Oh, the third period.
didn't
I
love the
was
first
like,
two.
why couldn't you do this more?
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird. But I mean, it was I don't know. In a game where you're given the situation and you'd already gotten a point the night before, really not much to complain about. Don't really care how the cookie crumbles as long as you get your W. And that's what the Avs did. Didn't even give Minnesota an extra point. So
Yeah.
So all right, well, let's talk a little bit about this game. First period, Avs were in full weather the storm mode.
Were they?
It felt like it.
I don't know. Watching it back, it just seemed like it just didn't feel like it. I don't know.
Cake. I got strawberry cake. I have to look back. I don't know what kind of cake I said I think Georgie likes, but we'll say strawberry this time. Strawberry cake for George.
Yeah.
You did watch the game more recently than I do, so I did.
Yeah, I watched it like a couple hours ago. I watched it in class.
It's responsible.
Yeah. It's boring class.
Fair enough. So, I mean, they take the penalty early.
Yeah.
Weird call. That call to me set the tone of we're gonna call out for the rest of the game, and they really didn't. It was very weird.
It was terrible.
I didn't have a problem with the officiating. I just thought that was a weird.
I had problems.
You did?
Yeah.
This is a record.
I know.
I don't know if this has ever happened, but yeah, I mean, so my initial impression on the call was, look, I'm fine with this if you keep calling it. And they didn't. Like, I could tell why they called it because, I mean, from the jump, Josh Manson laid a dude out. Minnesota came out hard and heavy. They were hitting guys all game.
Mm-hmm. That's just how they play, though.
Yeah. And, and obviously Byram and I think this happened after, though. Byram and Boldy threw down.
Nobody liked that fight. That was horrible.
Nobody did. He was like, why are you doing this? Especially Avs fans.
Matt Boldy is just a bitch. I don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, you get cross-checked and you're, I don't know. Whatever. I watched some Minnesota games before, and they like, how the Avs whole thing was, we're not taking any guff. They take this to a whole new level. It's like, if you do anything ever to one of our players, we're going to fight you. And it's like, I feel like it's a hindrance on their team because I think it plays a role.
If they had better players,
right?
If they had better players, they could do it, but they're just not very good. So
right, it comes off as more emotionally unstable than anything.
Yeah, and it's their coach too. I have no idea how Dean Evison does that every game. Like he's the most high energy coach I've ever seen. I don't know how you can do that every single game. He's
Yeah,
just tomato faced, screaming at everybody. I don't get how I would never want to play for that clown. Like he's a good coach and he's got really good systems. I like his system, but he's a clown. Like I don't think I would never be able to play
right.
for that guy
You see him losing his damn mind because they don't
over
give.
the littlest thing.
Oh well, the one that I saw was on Minnesota's goal, that the power play that led up to it. They called something, and then Josh Manson makes this great play. I don't remember whose leg it was, but he like takes out their one leg, and they like barely like kind of fall, and he's losing his goddamn mind over it not being a trip. I'm like, in no world should that be a tripping penalty when the guy doesn't even fall all the way. And the
It's
only
just the
reason he
littlest
fell because
stuff.
it looked like he was trying to sell it.
Yeah, it's just the littlest stuff.
It's what we
And
saw
I would
against
never be able to play
Edmonton
it.
last year.
I would never be able to play it. But Jay Woodcroft's a little different because he's more I don't know. He's just less of a clown than Dean Evison.
Yeah, well, he doesn't usually do what he did
Jay
in the
Woodcroft just
Edmonton
seemed in over
series.
his head, and Dean
Yeah,
Evison is definitely not in terms of X's and O's, but he's just a clown. Like good shot, Tiger.
yeah, that was out of character for Jay Woodcroft, not out of character for Dean Evison.
No. So.
Yeah. What were your officiating problems? Really
Oh,
quick.
I just thought the Avs were owed a couple more power plays, especially in the third period. I just watching it back, there were just so many obvious penalties that just weren't called. And like Chris Rooney's one of the worst officials in the NHL, so it's whatever.
Yeah, there were a lot of
Yeah.
pick plays. I thought that Minnesota
Mikko got pulled down. Beau got a hand around his shoulder from Jordan Greenway. That gets called every time. They didn't call it.
You could make I don't know. I didn't really have a problem with it, but I mean, you could make an argument in maybe a tighter officiated game that on Kaprizov's goal. I mean, guy like skates into a pick on Devon Taves, which
I don't mind the pick plays, but
right.
It was just the obvious stuff that they always call that they just didn't.
Yeah.
So I had problems. And like in the heat of the moment, I usually just don't care that much because, I'm so invested in the game. But watching it back when you're not invested in it at all and you're just kind of watching it to watch it, like it's just
You have the
a
ability
joke.
to watch around and
It's just a joke. It was just a joke. It was horrible. So
yeah, not a good officiating crew.
and the first penalty is one of the worst calls I've ever seen. The
I
Plumfer
mean,
one. Kelly Sutherland's a terrible ref too. So
I feel like I've seen that happen a few times in this season.
And barely touched him, man. And
I mean, they give if they call it, they give the other guy an embellishment because
well, they haven't given anybody embellishment recently in Avs games.
Yeah, it hasn't been a thing in Avs games, but in other games I've watched. I mean, like Jared Spurgeon. I understand you're a tiny little dude, but like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So, Avs first goal.
Good rush play.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you need.
Pretty soft, but good rush play.
Yeah, it's a nice play. It broke it down nicely on TNT.
It's a really good shot.
Yeah. I mean, of all the goals, I don't know. Would you say of all the goals that the Avs scored, this is probably the best one? Or would you say it's McKinnon's?
I think it's McKinnon's.
Yeah, I know everybody looks 5-hole and they're like, but
no, that's a good shot.
Yeah,
that's the only place he had to shoot it, and he got it. So I think that one's the best one. But this one's definitely second place.
It's a nice shot. Andrew Cogliano
should never go in.
Loves those low ones.
Yeah, but perfect shot. Should always be saved. Yep, good rush play, nice pass.
Sammy G got an assist on that.
1-0.
Continues to be good.
Yeah, he's been so good, man.
I mean, again, the Avs top 3 defensemen, pretty solid.
Top 4.
Top 4, right? Josh Manson.
Well,
Oh, Josh Manson. We need to talk about Josh Manson.
I didn't love Bo, and I honestly I didn't love that pairing. It just felt like they were surviving the whole game. They didn't really push the play ever in the right
Yeah.
direction, but they didn't give up a ton of quality, so I guess it was fine.
Yeah. They were also with, I think, that second line.
They were
for the
paired with the
Avs,
second line, and
which
yeah,
which had another not
yeah.
good.
They didn't play a lot with the first line, which was the only line that was good. So and Nieto and Malgin were both good, but the middle six was
How
not
many
good.
minutes did they get? 5 and 6. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Shocked Andreas Englund got even close to 10 minutes, dude. I felt like in the first period, I didn't notice him once.
England was
They used him a lot.
really quiet. England was really quiet, but I liked it.
Yeah, I wonder. So I don't. This could just have been because I didn't notice him, but
it's a good thing.
I have a feeling that this might have been like a Bednar plan. We're going to use our McDermott minutes at the beginning of the game when they're not as important,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to rest England, and then we're going to put him in at the end when it's crunch time because he's more reliable. Good. Yeah, because I definitely noticed him a lot more. I
also thought Brad Hunt was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the defensive core was fine. I was just the forwards weren't spectacular.
I love Taves and Girard for sure, and I love the bottom three. I just didn't think Bo and Manson I just didn't think they were that good. I thought Manson was good individually with the big hits and the smart plays, a lot of little short passes in his own zone for easy breakouts, which I liked, but they just never played offense. I never saw him in the offensive zone, which
I saw,
was frustrating.
Right.
And if you look, the XG numbers are they got completely crushed. So.
Right. Yeah.
Bo and Byram 13-32, and 0.3 to 1.4 expected goals. Manson 10-32, 0.18 to 0.94 expected goals.
Yeah, and I mean,
never played offense.
It's not something you love, but I mean, we're not taking anything from that. This is Josh.
I mean, it's his first game back, and I didn't think he was bad. I just didn't think
right.
I just didn't think that pairing. I would have liked to see them push the play a little more. They were just content to chip it out, and it was frustrating.
Yeah, the first line also was pretty good.
I love the first line, and I love
Nathan MacKinnon was on one tonight.
Nathan MacKinnon was so good, man. He was their only one. He was the only one of those. I mean, he was the only forward, really.
I thought Leckie was fine. I thought Nichushkin was kind of along for the ride. He was on the struggle bus a little bit.
I loved him on the forecheck, and I loved him pressuring. Yeah. I loved him pressuring the defenseman of Minnesota when they had the puck in the Avs zone. When they had the puck in the Avs zone, his pressure of their defenseman made them either rim it back around, they wouldn't shoot, or give it to the slot. It was either a steal or they would throw it back in deep. So really liked that. But again, pretty quiet. Just meh from Val.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that.
Let's get into these goals a little bit.
Oh, so Kalen Addison did okay. I wasn't sure if he was a healthy scratch or if he was injured.
He did get scratched. He Evison said after morning skate that he was not impressed with Addison's defensive game recently, so he scratched him.
Interesting. By the way, why'd they start Fleury in this game?
They started Gustafsson last game.
Yeah, but it wasn't a back-to-back.
It's kind of a 1A, 1B right now.
That's fair. I think they really started him because that was the only footage of the Wild player that TNT had to use.
Maybe. They had Kaprizov, man.
So, I mean, we kind of touched on the first goal.
Yeah. Let's get into the Malgin goal is another nice rush play.
Yeah.
But that puck should just never go in. Like that's
Yeah, that was. They were talking about a lot of whether or not that hit John Merrill's skate. I think it did.
It hit something.
But yeah, no, it's they were talking about it like it made a difference. I'm like, dude, he shot that from like if it deflected, it was like 10 feet away, and it was still a muffin. Like, but good on Dennis Malgin, 2 goals in 2 games. Guy's on a heater.
Mm-hmm.
Really want to
like. There's nothing more you can ask from him. Like when him and Nieto are on the ice, they have the puck the whole time. Like it's just good stuff.
Yeah, hopefully they can get, a center, and then they'll get some more minutes, and I think that'll be, kind of see some makings of a good fourth line that the Avs can kind of ride a little bit more than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
kind of really hoping that kind of trend was over of them like barely playing their fourth line, but I don't know. Personally, I feel like once Makar gets healthy, which
should be soon.
Yeah, I feel like you send Hunt down. I mean, I don't know. You call Myers back up, and then you roll 12-6 again.
I don't think they're going to have enough room to do that. I think they're going to play 11-7.
I hope not.
That's my guess.
I mean, yeah, nice play from MacKinnon on this goal. Pretty simple.
Simple.
Gets shot through a screen. It's a bit of a lucky bounce, but
yeah. And then, I mean, I actually really liked the PK for Minnie's first goal. They kind of, I mean, you'll allow that shot from way out high by Zuccarello every time. And then, it's just a nice tip. And then Manson obviously doesn't get the stick.
It was Byram.
Tie him up. That was Bleau. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hard to do that on a guy like Joel Eriksson when you're Beau and Byram. Bigger guy.
I mean, it's just sometimes you're a little late to the guy too. Like
and he makes a nice tip on it. So
but you'll give that up
it's not something you're really. I mean, I guess I have some problems with Minnesota's second goal, but
I have problems with Georgiev. That's soft.
Really?
Yeah. It's a backhander, and it doesn't go fast, and it's not even in the corner. It's just you should save that. Just my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. But there's this MacKinnon goal I want to talk about.
Like he's got eyes in the back of his head. He just knows.
Yeah.
It's a nice play.
And then you just zoom and
5-0.
Where's a 5-hole? He every so often he'll have one of those goals where he just zooms past a guy and just like finds a spot from a tough angle.
He scored that goal a lot. Yeah. 5-hole goal from
that 5-hole one. Yeah. I remember he actually scored it in Minnesota back in 2018.
A little different.
Yeah, on Devin Dubnyk, where there was like this much space. He just kind of hammered it through there.
A little different. That was more of a breakaway.
Yeah. Same difference.
Scored it against Bobrovsky earlier this year in Denver.
Yeah. He scored against Binnington
a couple years ago.
Yeah, in 2021.
I was at that game.
I was not. I was at the one where he did almost the exact same thing to Ville Husso, but he put it up top. Like same build up, just different shot.
Very next game.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, he's doing good.
I mean, he's not letting them. He's not letting them fall out of the race, man. It's a one-man show right now. So even when he doesn't play well, he still finds a way to points.
Right.
And he still is not giving up a ton defensively either. So.
Yeah, I've liked his attention to detail on defense. His effort level has been high most of the time. There was one moment I noticed where he like they were going on a rush on a 3-on-2, and I think he thought someone else was coming back with a little bit more speed. So he like stopped, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Back check!" But then he figured it out. So that was fine. I mean, and then the third period comes around, and the Avs are like, "Oh yeah, we have energy again."
Yeah, I was thinking, that they were gonna
Turtle hard.
well, because I got out of practice and it was the start of the third, and I saw the score and everything and the shot count, and I was like, oh boy, we could be in for a tough third period here. And they come out and I think they had the 6-2 shot advantage right away, and
Right.
Fleury, MacKinnon hits the crossbar. Fleury makes a really good save on Val. And, like it probably could have been 4 or 5-1. And then, then it kind of drifted back into more of like the clog the neutral zone.
Yeah,
chip it out.
they played like almost the first 10 minutes without a whistle. And then
which is really good stuff.
Once they got that commercial break, then it was like, then they were like, all right.
Yeah, because that's what you want when you're, when you're holding a lead on a back-to-back. You don't want whistles. You just want the game to kind of happen, and keep everything to the outside. And
anytime.
Yeah, I'll take that. So.
Yeah, hopefully, the Avs play more third periods like that, because that's one thing I will say. Defensemen were activating a lot, and I was like,
yeah, for the first 10 or so minutes, which is good, I think.
Yeah, there were times where I thought it was good,
hockey.
And then there were times where I thought it was less good, but give and take, I guess.
I would much rather play like that than have a. I would much rather root for a team that does that than a team that doesn't. So.
Than the New York Islanders.
Yeah.
So. I mean, yeah, they do good. Minnesota gets their 1 goal. I mean, they kind of pushed towards the end. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice play from Kaprizov.
They definitely
It all starts because the Avs don't clear the puck. It's their second line, and they have 3 opportunities to clear the puck, and they don't.
Right. But they definitely pushed.
Yeah.
But again, like, just not a whole lot in terms of danger. Like, Spurgeon had that one chance from the slot. That was pretty dangerous. But really, other than that,
Right.
Shots from the point.
It was good. Second line was big scary.
Would have been a lot easier if Mikko Rantanen could just shoot a puck into an empty net.
Yeah, he didn't want his 200th to be a freebie, all right? That's my father's theory, at least. Super frustrating.
Just win the game, dude.
Yeah, it's good stuff when you get 3 out of 4 points on a back-to-back. You don't mind it at all in the slightest, especially when that one win comes against the team you're competing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to talk about Mikko and Val? I was debating. I think I'll just share my thoughts really quick on both of them. I think Val's playing hurt. Has been for a long time. The question is just how hurt is he, and will he get more hurt? And clearly, he feels like if he plays, he will not get more hurt. It's just a matter of, playing through it. And but yeah, he's clearly playing hurt. And so when he's not his normal self, it's okay, because he still raises the floor of their team so much that even a hurt Val is like, you just live with it, how it's not normal Val. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. We think Val's been showing better a little bit every game. So I think I think last night was more of an I don't like saying out of shape. Just a little bit like, hasn't played a back-to-back in a while.
I still thought he played well.
Right, he forechecked hard, and he's just on the puck. He wasn't great. That dude has hit a finishing wall, though.
It just seems like he can't do he can't do the things that he normally can, and he's
Yeah.
trying to learn to play with his limitations, and he's figuring it out. So
Yeah, hopefully either,
he'll be okay.
he figures it out, or those, limitations go back
He'll
to,
be okay.
yeah. Because the team needs him. Um, so Miko, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Off pod.
Yeah. I just think Miko hasn't played well since the break.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with the line, like Comfer, Erod, Miko clearly isn't working because Erod's not a good winger. I don't think. I think Erod's so
Unless
much
he's with
better at center.
McKinnon.
Even with McKinnon, I just didn't like. I thought it was good, but I didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't his best, right?
It wasn't his best. Yeah, Erod's so much better as a center. That when he's on the wing, he just looks not great. He was fine with McKinnon. Um, so I think
Yeah,
having
with McKinnon,
that,
there's enough fluidity that it kind of.
yeah. Um, so I think it has to do with that line just not really working. I think it has to do with JT Confer playing like shit too. That doesn't help. Um, I just think you got three dudes who are playing like shit at the same time, and they're all playing with each other, and it's due to a lot of reasons. Um, and it's frustrating because Miko's easily the best player on that line by a mile, and he's just not carrying it. So it's a little frustrating in that sense.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. I mean, I know we talked about, hey, maybe um, put swap Erod and Val. Is that still what your preferred
That's what
course of
I would
action?
do. Yeah, I mean, Lekin and McKinnon is fun,
Can't
and
break
it
that up.
works. You just can't. Um, but then,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I
and,
would.
and
I
we
mean,
saw it.
Erod
It
up
worked
there.
before.
Erod up there is fine. It's the best they have right now, in my opinion. Unless you want to put New Hook up there and maybe do like an Erod Cogliano LOC line. That could work. And then, I don't know.
It's it's something that I don't I just there's a it's weird sometimes because Bednar can be so impatient. I don't know why he has such patience with this line.
It's just a bad line, man. It's a bad one. And so the Rantanen Comfort Nichushkin line is a good one. That works really well.
And it did work, and I don't know why they changed it.
Yeah, I mean the Lekin and Erod McKinnon line was rolling at a 60% expected goal share every game, which is like really good.
And they were
And
scoring too.
obviously like they didn't produce every game,
Yeah.
but it was really good. Um, just three dudes who just don't have the best finishing ability, Lekanen, McKinnon, Erod, but they were pushing the play. Um, now that McKinnon's scoring a little bit, I think that would work really well.
Yeah.
And then Val, Rantanen, and Comfort worked so well for a little bit there, and I don't know why that's split up.
It's one of the mysteries of Jared Bednar. Um,
Yeah,
it's weird, and I mean I don't. Um, yeah, but I think we should talk. We kind of haven't talked about it very much. Talk about Alexandar Georgiev.
yeah, man, super good.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, he didn't face like the it wasn't like he faced the highest of quality, but a
He's,
lot that much work, that many shots on the second half of
mhm.
back to back, where you already faced a lot of shots
Yeah,
and went
and
to a shootout.
2 goals on 3.5 expected is really good, also. So,
Yeah,
um, just just an awesome game from
really
Georgiev.
good. Uh, Two back to back pretty good games. I mean back
Yeah,
to back pretty good games, but
it's two times this year that he has played awesome in the second half of a back to back.
yeah, and I mean,
when
we,
he
we
plays
kind of
both.
saw this last year with Darcy Kemper too, when he would play in the second half of back to back. It was a little bit different because
He only did
he
it.
didn't play the first one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Darcy even play both legs last year one time? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. So
But Georgiev has twice now, and he's been awesome. So
yeah. Also, 2 good games in Minnesota this year.
yeah, I would expect to see Georgiev back. I would expect to see Georgiev in St. Louis for sure.
Yeah.
And then Edmonton, who knows? I would just play them both.
I mean, you could.
I would. But and then I would give JoJo like the sixth game of this 6 game stretch, or the fifth one in Winnipeg. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you might want to start
It's tough.
doing that one just because it's a bigger game. But
It's
also, he
tough.
has not been very good against Winnipeg this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a worry or a hey, good time to right the ship.
Yeah.
It's
We'll see.
we'll see. I mean, I would agree. I don't know. I do think if you're going to play, I mean, Johansson any game, the best chance you have is probably against St. Louis, just because you know they're the worst team, but also like
They've also been really good recently since they got
yeah.
O'Reilly back. So
Well, that's what one thing that and we kind of touched on it. St. Louis always plays hard against the Avs. It's
hmm
just kind of a thing. So I guess
Binnington always plays well too.
yeah.
It's very weird.
So you
So
really want
yeah,
you're probably going to want your best goalie in for that one.
yeah, we'll see what they do.
Don't really want to throw JoJo to the wolves against Edmonton either.
No, I don't either. Might have to.
Yeah, we'll see.
3 stars.
3 stars. Here we go. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I've got Georgiev 1 for sure.
Okay.
Lock that in. MacKinnon 2. I think that's pretty easy. And then 3, I don't know. There weren't really a lot of guys that I loved tonight. Um, I'm gonna give it to the Taves and Gerard pairing.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I thought
a
they were
good
good.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mine's pretty much the same. Um, I'm just giving it a little bit. I guess I'll just do the same thing. I don't really like. There wasn't much different between Taves and Gerard. They both made really nice plays on that one goal. I want to give an honorable mention though to um, Josh Manson for murdering dudes. Went
hmm
out there and played Josh Manson hockey.
Yeah.
Josh Manson hockey is hit on zone entries.
Yeah. Would like to see them have the puck more.
Yeah.
He's, yeah.
And we did kind of touch
Mental.
on, with the second line struggles, it's a little bit harder, but
Yeah.
So if they get that figured out, I mean, disappointing player. I don't know if you.
Nico and Comfer for me.
Okay.
I thought
Yeah, I
Erod
think
was the best of those 3 tonight or last night. Um, I just liked Erod on the rush.
I'll just.
But
Comfort did win like a few big faceoffs, so I'll
yeah,
just put Miko instead.
yeah.
Just Miko. Yeah, just good game to win. Yeah, Avs. I mean, they've been They're 8-2-2 in their last 12 games.
I think they're 9-2-2 in their last 13. Even better.
Yeah, there you go. Just gotta keep getting points.
That's right.
If you can do this 2 more, if you get 3 out of 4 2 more times or more, feel really good.
Yeah.
So, we'll be back on Saturday. Nice little early one, maybe. I feel like you said that you were doing something.
Saturday, we might have to do it at night, but
Okay. Well,
I just am really busy this weekend with hockey tournament. So
okay. Well, I mean, obviously, it's the early one, so we have time to work with.
yeah, I just hope I'm able to watch it because I think I might be golfing Saturday. Because Saturday we have no games, and I planned golf. I just don't know when and if the snow will melt. So We'll play it by
Right.
ear. But
Either way, on Saturday we will come at you. It will be on Saturday for that one, and then Sunday, obviously, again, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the Avs have another good showing on the back-to-back against two teams they faced off with last year in the postseason. We'll see. This is the last time they play St. Louis this year, I'm pretty sure.
yes.
Yeah. So probably the last time we have to see Jordan Binnington and his stupid face.
Yes. He's going to do something dumb, isn't he?
I
The Avs are going to roll in there feeling all good. They're going to pump a couple by early, and he's going to throw a fit. And
yeah. Also, good job to Blake for being right about
I
that.
knew they were going to win, dude. They just Nathan MacKinnon in those games. He just doesn't let them. He doesn't let them lose those games.
Yeah, he always does something, even if he isn't playing particularly well. He always does something dope.
Right. And I mean, he played really good yesterday.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Check out our Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And watch Tiger Woods. He's playing golf today.
Yeah, watch Tiger Woods.
You
Hope you guys
only get like eight or so rounds this season of Tiger, so you should watch. 8 to 10 probably is what I'm thinking.
That would make sense.
So you should watch. He's old.
He is old.
Mm-hmm.
Go Tigers.
And he's playing well. Go Tiger.